Welcome back. He's known as the Supremo, the ringmaster, basically the guy who's ruled the sport of Formula One with an iron fist for decades. But the Bernie Ecclestone era might soon be over. Reports out of the UK on Thursday suggest that some of Ecclestone's responsibilities could soon be taken over by the former chief executive of the drinks firm Diageo, Paul Walsh. Now, he doesn't have a sporting background, but given the current political and financial problems facing the sport, not to mention their future aspirations, it's perhaps no wonder they're turning to someone with a proven track record in the world of big business. According to the story broken by the Times newspaper, F1's controlling shareholder, CVC Partners, is keen on the move. Ecclestone, remember, is 84 years old now. He has been the man in Formula One for almost half his life. Meanwhile, it's still not clear if the former world champion Jenson Button has a future in Formula One, with Fernando Alonso almost certainly coming to McLaren soon. They've got 3 drivers and only 2 seats, meaning that either Button or Kevin Magnussen will have to be dropped. And Button has urged the board to hurry up and make a decision. But despite meeting in London on Thursday, they still don't have an answer. Earlier, I talked with the F1 journalist Christian Sylt. We spoke about the McLaren situation, but of course we began with the future of the sport's leadership and whether or not anything will really change.
I think the latest development really puts somebody in pole position to take over from Bernie Ecclestone if he can stay the course, really. There's no suggestion that Bernie is going anywhere. He's not slowing down, but he is 84. So if Mr. Walsh does indeed become the new non-executive chairman of F1 and stays in that position for some time, he'd be in a position to take over from Ecclestone when he eventually goes.
CVC is usually behind Bernie Ecclestone. If the reports are to be believed, this would indicate a change of tune. Why would that be, do you think?
Well, I mean, I don't necessarily think that it's so much CVC acting against Bernie. They're simply replacing one of the non-executive chairman, so one of the non-executives on the board, with another equally heavyweight businessman. I don't think they are acting against him. Indeed, you'll probably find that Paul Walsh is, who's the new, supposed to be the new chairman. You'll probably find that he's closely connected to Bernie Ecclestone, because he was involved previously with Diageo, which has done the drinks company, which has done many big sponsorship deals with F1. So I think that the two are probably closely connected. It's CVC really protecting their interests in terms of appointing another heavyweight businessman to the board, because the previous one is unfortunately unwell.
Through his sheer will and personality and, of course, business acumen, Bernie Ecclestone really has dominated Formula One for decades now. But to what extent do you think he's now actually holding the sport back?
It's, on the one hand, as I said, on the one hand he's holding it all together. On the other hand, people say, well, he's too old, he's out of touch, etc. I think he's still indispensable in terms of Formula One, really, because he is the go-to person that whenever there's a business issue within the sport. Now, if you could copy those characteristics, really, and that acumen, as you say, the business acumen and the will of personality, if you could copy that into somebody younger, then I think that you would solve all the problems. I think the difficulty is you can't do that, so the critics are still going to be there saying he's too old and out of touch.
Now, in other news, McLaren have something they need to resolve fairly quickly. They've got 3 drivers and only 2 seats, and they can't seem to make their mind up about whether they're going to keep Jenson Button or Kevin Magnussen. Why can't they make their mind up, and when are they going to get on with it and tell one of those drivers that they're out?
I mean, I think McLaren is an interesting case in point, because they have an unusual, by F1 terms, shareholding structure where they have 50% of the team is owned by the Bahrain Sovereign Wealth Fund, and then the other 50% is split between the chief executive Ron Dennis and his business partner, a Saudi businessman by the name of Mansour Ogier. So it could be, and we don't know this at this stage, but it could be that there's a deadlock in terms of the decision about the driver, and that could be the reason why